Welcome. I am John Halcyon Stinn, and it is an honor and treat to spend this moment with you. Today, the topic is faith by any other name, and it is inspired by the quote in Romeo and Juliet about what's in a name. Would a rose by any other name not smell as sweet? Or something like that. I'm paraphrasing slightly. And I had an experience this weekend where a friend of mine, a church-going, beautifully Christian man, was sharing some challenges and transitions that he was going through. And he said to me, God is good. God always takes care of me. And continued to talk about his security and his confidence. And even though he was struggling with certain emotions, he had absolute faith that everything would work out. And each phrase in his explanation of things was about God. And I realized, as he was telling me this, I was appreciating where he was coming from, and I recognized that there was a time in my life when I would not be able to appreciate that. I would have been repelled by his word choice. I would have associated the phrasing, as he used the term God, to be specific to certain dogmas, certain institutions that I had issue with. And I've realized that over the last, many years, I have learned to hear discussions about faith and spirituality and religion differently. A lot of it was influenced by Joseph Campbell, who wrote The Hero with a Thousand Faces, and really, did this massive research about religions and faiths and mythologies and stories that guide cultures all over the world throughout history, and realized that if you can look at each of these belief systems through the filter of metaphor, then you can find things to resonate with in anything. And you find that all of these different faiths have overlap in the stories they tell, in the values they spread, in the story arcs and archetypes. These patterns and stories are repeated over and over and over in many different ways when you can see them as metaphor, when you can kind of blur the lens and see it as patterns and framework and relationships between people and higher powers and things like that. If, however, you try to hold on to the specifics of any belief system, then, of course, then you have at odds, because you have, the mule god and the bull god. We love the mule god, we love the bull god. But if you say, oh, you guys surrender to a higher power that helps bring the rains, and we also surrender to a higher power that helps with fertility of our livestock. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Obviously, we know that it is a more challenging process to blur the lines and see the overlap in the other's viewpoints than it might seem in a academic exercise. But so as I'm listening to my friend say, God is good, God always takes care of me, I realize that if you substitute the word universe for God, it's something I say all the time. Oh, the universe is great. The universe takes care of me. How crazy that simply changing a word that is very hard to get a common ground definition with in the first place can be the thing that repels and makes me believe and others believe that, oh, we are at odds. The challenge is that language itself is a construct. It is a tool. It is a way to try to take these experiences and make them concrete enough that we can have an interaction and have a dialogue. There's a great it's kind of like if I say the word love and I start talking about love, or I start talking about God, or I start talking about a grand concept, the chance that you and my and their and her experience related to that concept are identical is zero. The chance that they're close enough that we can know what the other person means is slight. The chance that we're going to have confusion over what our experience and what we interpret versus theirs is almost absolute. My grandfather had a book that he passed on to me, written by Gandhi, called All Religions Are True. And there's a part of the book that is a dialogue between him and a Christian missionary. And the Christian missionary is trying to kind of press him to say, well, what do you believe? Who is right and who is wrong? You've studied this and this and this and this, and you can't have one and the other. You got to pick. What's. And Gandhi, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically was like, look, religion is an attempt by humans to express the inexpressible. Once you have something divine that passes through a human's perceptions, and once it becomes written as an idea, it has now been convoluted and obstructed and distorted based on this human's perceptions and this person's experiences. And unless you are that person, you do not have an absolute understanding of what that text, what that writing, what that idea is. And so he's saying all religions are true because every religion is a true expression from people who share the experience and worldview to perceive it in that way. If you live among the mud people and someone talks about the sun as the destroyer of all things, and yeah, that makes total sense to you. And if you grow up in the Vatican, something else makes sense to you. And it is impossible for anyone to truly understand another religion because you are bound by the experiences that you have had. The best you can do is recognize the result of your socialization and your culturalization and all the things that have happened to you and done you, and just know, oh, right, I cannot understand the perceptions and the worldview of the mud people. I can, at my best, recognize that I can appreciate it. And I can try to go, oh, okay, what is the metaphor that they're trying to express here? What is the relationship between the individual and the other and authority and nature and some divine higher power of some sort? Those relationships I can appreciate when I take out the mule-headed fertility beast and the whatever the specifics are of this faith. And I have to remember that now. I mean, we even if you don't call it a religion, we bring these perceptions and we bring our worldviews to everything. I know that science isn't a religion, but it is a way, a set of understandings that we bring to ideas and to structures. So someone is talking about, their belief in aliens. That can be done. You can view that in the same way. While I don't have, a strict belief that there are aliens walking among us, I can understand the metaphor and the structure and how that relationship between the individual and consciousness. Yeah, okay, I can appreciate that if I can pull back. And it's such a healthy and such a tool of compassion when you can start to let go of your instant association with someone else's beliefs. As they're explaining things, recognizing that I have to recognize that I'm not hearing it in the same way. I don't have the same experiences to decipher it in the same way. Jacob Glass once said in a lecture something that just triggered me. He's like, because he teaches a lot about A Course in Miracles, which is scribed by Jesus. Jesus channels this information through the person who scribed it. And so it's written in Christian language, and Jesus is the voice of it. And so it was a big mind-blowing thing for me to be able to kind of welcome ideas from Jesus and Christianity after I had gone through a process of rejecting it. And what Jacob was saying, that look, oftentimes people become enamored with and attached with and called to Eastern ideas and Eastern texts and Eastern religions who grew up in the West because they are free from association. And they have so many associations attached with their Western childhood stuff that they can no longer hear and experience it because it's attached to baggage. But when you hear a similar idea coming from another place, you can go, oh, wow, that's beautiful, because I now can hear it in a different way. And so whether God is good and God takes care of me, whether the universe is good, whether the fertility bull-headed beast is good, whether the mud people's sun god is good, it's all good. Except for whoever they're chasing. It's not so good for him. Although, it's all about having faith. It's all right. It's not about everything being perfect all the time. It's about that faith. And that's why it was so important for me to hear this other person share their faith, even though our specific belief systems were different. Their faith in everything working out was absolute. And it reminded me that, yes, my faith is absolute too. I believe all things will work out. I believe that this system, this universe has got an order that I cannot understand. I believe that there is a love vibration that flows through it all. And my job is not to figure out how to fix everything, how to make everything work, how to orchestrate and manipulate to get the outcome that I think is right. My job is to be present, have integrity, and align with love. I can't tell you how much better it feels after that. So whatever you believe, whatever words you associate with it, whatever figures and whatever statues, whatever idols, whatever it is, hopefully it is getting you to a place of personal growth, of being your highest self, of connection with others, of letting the love shine from you. So thank you for being one of those people, no matter what you call yourself. Thanks for smelling like a rose. I love you. Let's have a hug. Grab yourself by the shoulders. And let's be grateful for this body. Whatever you might call it. I guess we'll all call it the body. Be appreciative for its healing powers. Be appreciative for all the experiences it gives us. Appreciative for this front row seat at the unfolding of the universe. Let's be appreciative of our incredibly blessed opportunity to play roles in this world, to be father, child, to be salesperson, cashier, to be Republican, to be activist, to be everything that we do. We get to get caught up in the roles we play, put on our jersey and try to score and make good plays and root for our team. But let's just remember that all of that, all of the things we're trying to achieve are in the service of a role that we play in this game. And beneath that, beneath all of it, everyone that's playing, no matter what color their jersey, no matter what direction they're trying to push the ball, deep down beneath that physical body, beneath those labels, deep down beneath it all, we are vessels of love. We are divine beings. We are rays of light. And when in doubt, we can take off the jersey and just let that light shine. And we can appreciate the light shining from everyone, even people that we think are against us or the enemies. Deep down, that light is shining from them too. And even if they don't know it, we can try to see it, try to melt that exterior and let that love out. So let's take 3 breaths, letting our love shine brightly through us. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Ready? On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all the Love Warriors, happy Hug Nation. Thank you. I love you. Whatever it is that you think the word love means to you, namaste. Namaste is actually one of those words that I have started using less because so many people have attached baggage to it. So many people believe it is something that is used too flippantly, and that it has become a part of the culture of yoga without really being embraced for what it means. Now, I try to really, really chew on and think about what I believe and what I interpret namaste to mean, to recognizing the divine in you and thanking you for reflecting that divine and reminding me of the divinity that shines through from all of us. And so that, thank you for that recognition. But if it's too many people hear it and it like makes them bristle up, and so then it's not serving its purpose, and I need to find a new word like aloha or shakabra or shubu shubu.